Hello everyone, Floyd Zuber here, and I want to talk about legalized trespassing onto private property in Virginia. The Board of Wildlife evidently has been trying to resolve this simple issue for some time unsuccessfully. If you attend the public hearings or read the reports, there's one word that keeps popping up with the owners of hunting dogs.
That I can tell you in one word. Tradition! Tradition!
That's right, tradition. Evidently, hunting with dogs is supposed to be some time-honored tradition that has been legislated in a perverted way to violate property rights of citizens who have no interest in hunting dogs or their owners. Think of it this way. Some guy with a bunch of mutts claims to be a hunter, turns his dog loose where they can go onto anyone's private property, and the property owner can do nothing about it. I just wonder if these guys are actually real hunters. Think about it. Now, if they were hunting really huge animals such as mastodons, just like in the good old days, I can see them getting all the reinforcement they can muster. It could be dangerous out there, most likely from getting shot by another hunter, especially since these hunters are often seen hunting in packs, just like their dogs. It reminds me of some guy who calls himself a fisherman and uses a fish finder instead of knowing the fish in the waters. You know what I mean? Then I got to thinking about tradition and another word that popped up during these discussions. And this one word was used as a synonym for tradition, and that's heritage. Now that's a mighty word, and it fits a certain type of people who have been vocal when it comes to the racist history of the Confederate States of America. They usually portray a romanticized version of a mythical South where Africans were brought into America as willing participants to work the fields of plantation owners. And nothing could be further from the truth. The slaves were property and treated that way, mostly with abuse. Reference to slaves and slavery were mentioned in several subsections of the Confederate Constitution, all as retrievable property. That's the true heritage that these people are proud of. Yeah, it must have been difficult for all those white folks from the cotton fields to part with their personal human property. With the help of the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850, it was possible for slave owners or their representatives to extract slaves who escaped to freedom, short-lived as it was. Extraordinary retrieval powers were granted. No due process required. Not unlike what hunting dog owners are interested in. Heritage at work. So, given that these people are still around in a different form, what are some reasonable approaches to protect real personal property? Fortunately, they can't come onto your property with weapons, even if they make ridiculous Second Amendment claims. Leave your guns at home, boy. They can't drive onto your property to retrieve their mutts. Park in the street. If you have a long driveway or live on a private road, make them walk. It's good exercise. You know, I have no objection to charging a fee for some schlub wanting to come onto my property. After all, shouldn't I be compensated for this? He gets his mutt and I'm left with the annoyance. Make him pay. As a property owner, you should be concerned about liability if there's an injury. You don't know how much this dude has been drinking and he wants to come onto your property? Does he carry liability insurance? Maybe that should be a requirement for mutt repossession. As property owner, you set the limit for the liability insurance policy. And I don't think it's too much to ask for proof that someone's hunting dog is on your property. Why should we take the word of some stranger? We don't even know if he has an ulterior motive, do we? He may be the serial killer from next door. Do you want him anywhere near you and your family? Maybe we should get back to the origin of this tradition heritage thing. I already mentioned the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. It was a favorite piece of legislation of white supremacists from that era. Of course, now we have a new crop of white supremacists descended through time until the present. There's so much similarity and support for legislation that allows anyone to invade the personal property of others with impunity. In fact, here's a picture of a gathering of white supremacists. We don't know what they gathered for, but I see nothing good coming from it. Hey, isn't that Johnny McShrimp? And on a health note, there have been recent reports of rabies that included hunting dogs. I can only imagine how those dogs contracted rabies. Yeah, Republican conservatives or conservative Republicans, you gotta vote them out. Gotta vote them out. Gotta vote them out.